It was a happy homecoming for the Decorah Vikings last Friday night as they knocked off Charles City 28-0. To recap that game, here's Vikings coach Pat Trewin, and got to start on the defensive side of the ball. Anytime you get a shutout, that obviously a very good thing. You forced 3 turnovers and also had a safety. What made your defensive performance work so well last week?
Well, it starts with a good scheme. Defensive coaches did a great job. Mike Tungan and Jared Buxa and Brian Wasco. They all had a good scheme together. And then we went out and got physical and we got after it up front and played really hard all 4 quarters. And we had to, because there were probably 3 times where they were in really good field position to score, and we were able to keep them out of the end zone. And getting safeties is always fun. We backed them up, and we ended up with the score sheet, I think, just said 1, but we ended up with 2 safeties. I don't know the last time we've ever had, or if we've ever had 2 safeties.
And on the offensive side of the ball, you discussed last week, Charles City presents some unique challenges with how aggressive they are on offense. They're going to make you look bad in one play, but they're going to give you the ability to hit on some other plays. How do you feel your offense handled that challenge?
I think there were a lot of good things within it. I mean, being able to get some scores where we could. I think we protected okay in the passing game. We didn't try to pass a lot. We were able to get some movement. When we got good field position, we were able to score most of the time, and that was good. It's still a challenge when a team is going to, move around a lot and blitz you quite a bit, and then you're going to make a penalty or 2. But to end up with 28 points, that's a pretty good thing. We got to shoot for about 28 points most every game is what we would hope to get. So pretty good. We're going to have to play even better against Mason City. They're a club that can put up a lot of points. They've got a really big passing game. So we're pleased that we were able to get what we could get with Charles City.
You hit the halfway point of the season this week. From a development and improvement standpoint, what type of a midterm grade would you give this team?
I think as far as needing to grow and being able to grow, we've grown a lot. It's hard to say what kind of a grade, because every day always looks a little bit different. There are some days where it's like, hey, we look like we've got an A right now. And then there are some days where it's like, maybe it's a B-. But I really think that the concentration throughout the season has been really very good. And we've been able to incorporate some new ideas and really be able to work on techniques that can we put it into practice? Can we put it into practice all the time and not just, do it half the time? So I'm pleased with the growth. You're pleased to get another victory. And then, I think we still have great focus, and our focus to win this week and play at our best is still going to be very high.
And when you look at the technique you talk about, the development you talk about, how do you go about selling that fact that those little things mean a lot and are often the difference between a W and an L?
Well, we try to talk about it in every phase of our lives too. We did a book study last summer, James Clear's Atomic Habits, and most of the varsity was at that most of the time. And you talk about the little things creating the big things. And if you don't concentrate on the little things, you're not going to get better with it. And then it's everything from doing what you're supposed to do in the weight room, doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, doing what you're supposed to do away from school. You've got to work on that level of caring and concentration, and you got to care about each other. If you're not out there and playing for the buddies right beside you, then you may not grow. And I think our guys fit that. They care about each other. They don't want to let each other down. And then they're really working on the attention to detail. That's always easier said than done, getting into brains and bodies. But we're still a pretty young crew, and we've grown quite a bit. Certainly our seniors have they've played like seniors. They've done a real good job. And then our juniors, they're growing into that point. And you really want juniors to play like a real varsity ball player come games 4 and 5 and 6. People that, the speed of the game, it's not too fast for them.
And you mentioned Mason City, a team that has put up a lot of points through the first half of the season. Looking at them on film, what impresses you the most about them?
They have a quarterback who can really sling the ball. They have about 4 guys in their skill positions, whether it's defensive back or in the wide receiver world. 2 of them play both ways. They're pretty deep that way too. They only have 2 two-way starters, but they can sling it. And if you give the quarterback a lot of time, or you give him a lot of space, especially, he's going to find a way to make some completions. And that's the best part of their game. Because they play so many people, they're able to be pretty well rested, and they're able to get after it in some ways. They're kind of like us, 2-2, and a lot of inexperience coming back. They're hungry to start district play, and it's their homecoming. And so they see a chance at a victory, and they're going to come out and get after us. And we have to know that same thing too. It's going to be a neat atmosphere going over there for their homecoming and seeing what we can do.
All right, Coach, hopefully we can talk about a winning streak after this week. Keep your kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
Pat Trewin, head coach of the Decorah Vikings at Mason City this week.